I don't know, Mark. Do you look good? Is your makeup good? Are you wearing makeup as we start this podcast?
I always wear makeup. I like to put extra gray in the mustache. It really brings the chicks.
Hey, dude, let me tell you something. It looks like you're a farmer out in the mountains somewhere. Well, wait, you are kind of.
That's
All
me,
right.
except for the farming part.
So Mark and I here are going to start a podcast. Okay, I call it a podcast for the audio side of things. It's a vlog, if you will. We want to do this once a week, and I'm in San Diego, California, more succinctly, I should say, probably Santee, which is about 15 minutes out of the center of San Diego to the east. So I'm sort of a hillbilly, but nothing like Mark. He really is a hillbilly. Where are you at, man?
We are in the boonies. We're out in Eastern Oregon, and the easiest way to say it is we're 4 hours away from Portland.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well,
heading towards Idaho.
so yeah, and it's LeGrand, and in fact, he has a really cool set of cabins, the High Road Cabins online. I'll put a link to that down below for our first podcaster. We used to do something though called the Ride Site Podcast. I changed it to Motorcycle Monkey. We haven't done it for a few years. If you don't already know, I review motorcycles on television on KUSI in San Diego, as well as my YouTube channel. A subscription from you would be absolutely awesome. And for Mark, for Authentic Biker, also Instagram. But you being in Eastern Oregon, first of all, this is not him at the cabin, as you can probably tell, because he has a really cushy chair that he hauled all the way out to the woods with your background. What made you do that, my friend?
Yeah, I got to bring it out here and watch out because the turkey try to sit here. I'm actually in a basement in LeGrand. It's the quietest place. We do have trains and a lot of wind up here. So, yeah.
In the basement where you belong. Anyway, I'm upstairs in my office where I broadcast 3 days a week from 1015 KGB FM in San Diego. Been doing this for about 24 years this month, in fact. I do afternoon drive. And the reason I say that is I have two separate locations where I broadcast from. One is my office here, which you can see in the background behind me. I've got some homages to some dogs that we've lost in the past, in case you're wondering what the heck that is. And then, of course, the picture above it is the Sands Hotel way back in the day, the Rat Pack. And I just absolutely love them. And this is going to change in the background here soon. But Mark and I really wanted to get started on this. The other place that I broadcast from is the KGB studio. But for the podcast or vlog, if you will, I can either do it here or at the Monkey Shop. I have a room specifically for this with a couple of GoPros and some recording equipment. And it's much nicer, but it's also much harder for me to get over there than I can just do it right here in the office. So that's kind of what you're looking at right now, as if you care. But Mark, you and I, we want to focus on a few things in this podcast vlog.
Yeah, can I just catch up on some quick history there? Clint and I have been riding forever. We've been riding long before we even met each other. And then he came into my shop one day in San Diego. We both love sport in the military. If you check out here, you can go to check out the Mayride. I think it's mayride.com. Clint will put a link in if I'm wrong. Phenomenal fundraiser that he does almost everything himself. He won't say he does, but
I know I have a team.
Yeah, check it out. It's pretty awesome. But anyway, we rode a lot. We've ridden for years. I have this thing where I like to ride wherever I'm going. If we're going to Sturgis, if I'm going to San Diego and my wife is not going to attend that trip, I try to ride everywhere. Well, doing that, it was cheaper to camp. It's also a lot more fun if you can go check out the Grand Tetons on your way somewhere and that kind of thing. So I slowly kind of became a little bit of an extremist in some of my motorcycle adventures. I might go somewhere up in the mountains for a couple of days just to see if I can survive, discover that I can go through 10 different kinds of shovels till I find one that actually is worth a dang. But because of where I live now, I've been getting more and more into camping, backpacking, and that stuff also is a, SHTF, if it hits the fan.
If the stuff hits the fan, yeah.
So Clint and I have just kind of been progressing into testing more and more and more equipment. And we just thought, why don't we just share some of this? So save someone else $200 in failed shovels when you can just get a really phenomenal shovel for, what is it, about 40 or 50?
Somewhere between 40 and 60. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've tested a lot of really junk equipment. And we thought, why don't we talk about the good stuff that we've tested or the unique stuff we found? And a lot of it ties into our motorcycle trips. And, we've got video of monsoons in Sturgis where you can see a really cheap tent performing phenomenally. So we said, let's tell some people about that.
Yeah, and to your point, I've been riding for years. I ride a 2000 Road King Classic, a Harley Davidson. Mark's got 3 bikes. I test bikes every month. So right now I've got a Kawasaki KLR 650. Just finished a Triumph Speed Triple, which is just a speed demon. And then of course, I do Harleys and Indians and just whatever it is, Ducatis. I'll take it. And I'm very blessed to do this. Those are what I mainly review on YouTube. But yeah, Mark and I started talking. I'm learning a lot about survival gear from you because you're a hunter, you're a woodsman, you are a survivalist, whether you admit it or not, you are. And we have
survived.
Yeah, we have a bug out plan with Mark. And so it's gotten me into it. But again, to your point, not just survival gear, but sort of integrating that into motorcycle camping, because I'm getting ready for a motorcycle camping trip. It's only going to be a night or two just to test out what can I fit in my saddlebags and a backpack. And I'm going to make it a rule that me and the 8 or 9 other people that go with me, we can only bring what we can fit on our bikes. That's it. And then the other part of that is that you and I, maybe not all the equipment that we show is going to be a winner. Like for instance, I bought a tent for $20, dude. So it's either pass it or trash it or pump it or dump it or lose it or use it, or I'm not sure which I'm going to decide right now, but that's going to be a part of our series as well. So it's survival gear along with the motorcycle aspect of things, right? So what do you ride though? I want to make sure before we talk about these shovels here, because I got one like you, I just haven't used it. What do you ride?
My favorite right now is my Super Tenere because of where I live. You know, tomorrow I'll be taking that up to prep the cabins, hit the dirt road, maybe do a little cruising around, see how far up I can get till I hit the snow line. Just picked up a what's that Harley?
Oh, stop. 2018 Harley Davidson. Stop it. It's your best
just
bike.
Picked up a beautiful, beautiful Harley. The sad thing is I had some health issues, so I've only put 200 miles on it. That the ride that we took was the only ride that thing's been on. Much better now. So this year I'm hoping to beat the heck out of it. So I picked up that Harley, ultra limited or limited.
Oh yeah, it's bitching, dude. You let me ride that, and I fell in love. And that's a 4-year-old bike.
It's a nice bike. It was the guy barely used it, and I hope I get to beat it up good. And then an '86 Suzuki Cavalcade, which is really just a beautiful couch on wheels.
That's awesome, dude.
Huge. I mean, I've carried so much groceries in that thing over the years. It's phenomenal.
All right, so you know what we ride, you know what we're about, and we hope that you'll join us. We hope you'll share this channel. We hope that you'll share this vlog, this podcast. And now for our first thing that we're going to do, so it's a shorter podcast tonight probably, but in this is a utility shovel, a survival shovel. Now, I haven't even taken mine out yet, Mark, and I'm not going to because you're going to show yours. You've actually used yours in real world experiences. So talk about that, man.
Yeah, and I'm not a survival. We could say that, but this is really just an outdoor shovel because not a lot of shovels get used indoors, I guess. But this is my camp shovel.
Whatever.
This is now the one I had previously got stolen. Was stolen. All my hunting gear was stolen, and I did not get it back when I did get a few items. But I beat the you know what out of these things. This digs holes constantly. Every year I go for 5 days up in the mountains. My wife will usually drop me off, and I hike up in there. And this little thing is just a freaking dream as far as shovels go. And there's going to be a much better review that Clint's going to do an unboxing. And I'm doing a review just to show you how this thing really can chop wood that it should not be able to chop. There's a couple items in here. I'll just show you real quick. I lost my ferro rod, little fire starter.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in my camping gear, I'm sure. But I thought, why not go big? So it's usually about this big. Do you have yours so we can compare there, Clint?
I'm not going to pull mine out because mine's smaller.
Oh, yeah. Genetically, I think this was developed different. So it's a very large ferro rod. Because I had room in the handle, why not upgrade that? So I just ground down a larger one I bought on Amazon.
You're compensating.
And now I should have, I don't know, 100,000 fires or something like that.
You going to ignore that comment? Are you going to ignore that?
What's that?
I said you're compensating. You had to go bigger. Come on. That's an alarm. Let me shut that off. Oh, dude, let me tell you that on another podcast I do about sex talk with, Clinton the Doc for my radio station with Dr. Jen, a friend of mine. When that alarm goes off and we're doing a podcast, woo, she scolds me. I literally just had a visceral reaction and puckered. I'm like, get. Oh, wait, I'm not with her. I'm with Mark.
She is way more professional than we are.
She is big and smarter too, and purtier.
I wonder what it's like to be that way. She's not prettier than me. But I just want to show this real quick. There's definitely storage in here. You could put some fishing line, maybe a couple matches, and there's plenty of room. Maybe even attached on here so it's easy to extract. I don't recommend this for common use, but it is a very sharp blade. Also a bottle opener. I don't know how that's an emergency thing, but there it is.
And a saw edge.
There's a wood saw, and I was on some hardwood. You'll see in the review, and it's pretty sharp. So in a pinch, that would do the job. And the other two pieces I have, they're again buried in my stuff from my last trip, but they extend this out to I think about 5 feet. So you can get a really good hit. Put your foot on top of that shovel, and I've dug in rock. I don't even see all the abrasions. I had to dig a hole out I had to come up with some water, and there was just a little bit of a dry spot in a old logging road. So I dug down about 6 inches, but it was a lot of big rock.
Now, what was that? You were trying to get to water?
Yeah, I just needed to expose some water because I was starting to run dry. So I dug it out. About 6 hours later, when I came back, it was filled up and clear. I ended up not needing it, but it was close. It was heating up, and I was doing a lot of hiking, a lot more than I thought. So,
but if you do, then you know it works. So that's good. And then you dug a hole to, let's just say, make a deposit during a hunting trip.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that my plan A was going to work. So I dug the hole out. Plus, the animals will have a place to get to water. So why not expose something for them? Because it was a pretty dry period. So, but this was the shovel I used, and I don't know. I don't think I bent any part of it. And I was standing on this to dig and pull the rocks up.
Well, you recommended it to me, and that's why I bought it. Because again, if you've got real world experience with an item that I can afford and I think it's worth it, then that's the bonus here. And that's the kind of stuff we're going to show you. But you missed something that I said. You've used that shovel, let me say it again, to make a deposit when you were hiking and backpacking and hunting.
I made a deposit by digging the hole in the water.
No.
No, I've done countless deposits. I can't even. I mean, when you're there camping for 5 days, probably eating lots of chili and Spam. How many holes are you digging?
Well, and here's the thing. If you don't already know, and if you're watching this, you probably do know, but just in case you don't, you want to dig a certain amount of distance away from any water source for the animals so they don't get sick, and also a certain depth so that you don't, A, make a mess, B, make them sick from eating it, and C, it's just better for the environment. So that's why Mark's used that. So what? You dug a hole for water. You've made deposits with it. What else? Anything else?
I haven't chopped any wood I've dug out my snowmobile with it, and I've helped. I had a client not listen and drive into the snow, and they high centered. So I'm under the car with the extensions digging the snow out so we can clear the frame.
Oh, wait, they were on their way to your cabin?
Yeah, they were on the way to the cabin. I said, don't go past the snow part. Just sit tight. I'll come get you. Oh, it looks pretty good. And they drove anyway, high centered like 50 yards later. So that was about 4 hours. But I used this to dig out because it was easier to maneuver than the large shovel that I carry.
That's cool. Well,
it's worth its weight in gold.
Well, and like we said, we'll have a link for you. I'm going to do an unboxing. Mark's going to show real world use in a video here in the coming days and weeks. And we are going to, some of our vlogs, our podcasts will have, if we got video utilizing whatever item we're talking about, we'll inject that into the video of us talking, or we'll do one just a few days later, a week later. We'll try to keep content coming. Our goal is that you get information out of it. We're hoping to entertain you. And again, it all pertains to motorcycle trips, motorcycle camping. What can you fit on that? And I would say, and I know you don't like me saying this, but zombie apocalypse, end of the world stuff.
Or like my buddy in Texas, he was down 3 weeks with no power. They were literally using their little sterno to melt snow so they could have water and put it in the toilet.
And that's a stove, by the way.
That's common. That's common problems. Hurricanes, this and that. All the stuff we talk about can be used there or for the zombie apocalypse.
There we go. There's that damn alarm. Oh, this one's real, though. This one we got to sign off.
It's time.
Mark, thank you, man. Authentic Biker on Instagram. Also check him out on YouTube. All the links will be below. Of course, if you're here, I'm Motorcycle Monkey. I'm also on Instagram as that. Did I say Instagram? Anyway, if you
got the shovel link will be in the comments as well.
So if you want something reviewed yourself, give us a suggestion in the comment below. If you're an expert yourself, if you got advice yourself, put it in the comments. We'll share it on the next video, unless you're full of crap, of course, and we'll know. So listen, have a good one, ride safely. And if you've ever served this country, past, present, men, women, every branch, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you. And God bless you and your families for your tremendous sacrifice.